Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm your host, Nicholas Sadowski. We have a fantastic show today, two amazing guests, and a great game. We are back here in the studio in 2021. We ended last year in October, if I believe, or if I remember correctly. And it was a fantastic season. Season 5 was just amazing. We had 8 episodes, really, really good guests, and it made me very happy to film that. And now we're back here, 2021, after the pandemic. Daybreak was started during the pandemic for me to just pass the time, but now here I am making time to have fun. I enjoy this immensely, and I'm so happy to see that we have one of our guests, and hopefully we'll have our second guest very soon, hopefully. Yeah, so if you're curious, we're on Zoom now. It's a different format, but if you would like to ask questions, just make sure that you select in the chat to host, and I'll see them on my thing. And I'll ask the questions to the guests if you want to ask questions. If you just want to watch, then enjoy, but keep your microphone and camera off. But we're already 5 minutes in, so let's get started. My first guest is someone who is very close to me. She's just a very kind person, does a lot of different things like softball and singing. She's just very outwardly nice and someone who I've had on twice here on Daybreak. The first time we had a bit of technical issues, but we fixed it. The second time, I'm happy to have her back. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Daybreak, Bianca Anderson.
See if my tech works here.
It
Hello.
does. Hello, Bianca. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Nervous, but I'm good. So how have you been since, well, last year, actually? How has your new school year and everything been?
It's definitely been a bit of a roller coaster ride, just, with the pandemic and everything that's been going on since we started going back to school full time.
Right.
But now school's out, and so, hopefully things will be better by the time we are next in school.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I from what I understand, we won't have to do masks. We will go back to our 2-person per table thing that we had before, and everything will be back to normal, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the hope. Sitting like 5 feet from everyone and being unable to hear what anyone in class says was definitely a bit annoying.
Yeah, I couldn't understand Mr. Lacey probably for 95% of the time.
Yeah, thankfully my teachers were good about, making sure that they were heard.
Right. I didn't want to be the annoying kid just asking every single time you said something. Sorry, can you say that again? I couldn't hear you. Like, he would have just thrown me out of the class at the end of the year. Like, anyways. But, So what, Caroline's here. Yay. What are you most looking forward to next year with this school year?
What I'm most looking forward to is probably being, more back to normal and more, it's going to be my senior year. So it's going to be nice to finally get to have some normalcy again.
Right.
Freshman year was the only normal year that I've had. And so it's going to be nice to finally have that sense of, oh, things are finally back to normal. I'll get to have a normal sophomore year, because the past 2 grades sadly didn't get that. So
Right.
It's going to be nice to, have that sense of, having everything back to normal and not having to worry about masks, not having to be 20 feet away from everyone and being unable to hear what anyone's saying. And, hopefully that all works well and we don't have to go back to it.
Right, yeah. I still have yet to experience an actual full school year because I got cut off at the end of a freshman, and then I got cut off at the beginning of sophomore. I haven't had an actual final. Like, I have going into junior year not knowing what to expect.
Yeah, don't worry about that, honestly. As someone who had to deal with the final season, the teachers prepare you for it. Because you haven't had that before, they'll explain it to you.
Right.
They'll explain how finals work. It's not until June, literally the last week. So I think that they're going to obviously make accommodations because of the fact that you guys haven't had that sense of normalcy. Like, we will be the last grade of Norwell High School that has had that sense of normal because, you know, sophomore year was when everything happened, and every grade after us hasn't had the experiences that we had. So I think that the school is definitely going to take that into account with how they approach the upcoming years.
Yes.
Although I can sadly say I don't know if snow days are going to exist anymore.
Right,
After the discovery of how well online works from home.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be one casualty that I'm going to
One casualty of everything.
Yeah. I miss the snow days, just like it's like a Wednesday and not having to wake up at 6:20 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you have had to now balance softball and school, but now you just got a new job, from what I understand. So but lucky you, it's during the summer, so you don't have to balance school in it, but you will when you go into senior year. So are you worried about balancing all that stuff, or are you confident?
I'm not worried about it because from what my manager has told me, I've only had one shift so far, and that was yesterday.
Okay.
And that was just orientation, but they seem to be very able to accommodate to students who have high school. They have a lot of employees, from what I understand, who are high schoolers. So I'm not horribly worried about that. They're used to accommodating for these kinds of things. So I'm not worried about like, oh, I'm not going to be able to work as much and therefore I'm going to lose my job because I can't do as much work.
Right.
And because I'll already have, put in hopefully a lot of work over the summer, I'm hoping that I'll be able to at least try to have some more hours over the school weeks, even when sports finally start coming into play.
Are you going to, so you're going to have to do, are you going to do so I remember you did softball last year. Are you going to continue doing that next year?
Yeah, that's not until the spring, but I am planning on doing softball next year.
There's a weird connection with me and softball because, well, just general sports. Like, I'll watch it on the TV and I could care less, but if I'm there, I'm so excited and actually, you saw me, I'm jumping up and down and flipping out at things. I was really intense.
You were very into it.
Yeah, and I never thought that would ever happen.
Yeah, I think it's just something about I think it's just something about being actually present for the games. Like, you watch it on the screen and you're not there. You're not seeing it. You're not hearing how everyone's reacting in person. But when you're there, you have people cheering, and it's not just the people in the stands. You hear the players cheering and you see them getting into it, and then the people in the crowd start getting into it. I've seen this with field hockey too. People will be I don't understand the game, but I would watch that again.
Right, yeah. I never understood field hockey because I don't understand the
rules.
The stick. I don't understand I don't understand what that is.
Well, there's two different types of field hockey sticks. You have your goalie stick, which is just for the goalie, and that one's much more of a hook shape, and then you just have your normal field hockey stick, which is much more like a street hockey stick.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a significance. All I can tell you is that you're supposed to hit it on the flat side of the stick. If you hit it on the rounded side, you get called for that. Field hockey has a lot of strange rules.
Yeah. Sports just generally have a lot of strange rules. The defining characteristic of 95% of sports. But so what are you most excited? So you said that regarding school that we won't have to stay 15 feet apart. We will be able to hear everybody again. We won't have to wear masks. The one thing I will say about the masks is that during the winter they did keep your face warm, which I did like about them.
They did. That was very nice.
In the summer, it's just gross. It's just it's just disgusting.
Yeah, I will say that I will not be surprised if in the winter you see kids that you see like the handful of kids that will wear masks just because of how cold the school gets.
Right.
Just trying to keep their face warm.
Yeah, I went out when we had the mask breaks. If it was like winter, I just kept it on because I'm like, this just keeps me warmer.
Yeah.
So, but of all those things, what are you most looking forward to going into senior year normally?
I think just like in the normal year, I'm excited just for like, because senior year is obviously the year where you get to, decide what you want to do for
Right.
all your classes. It's not like, oh, you have to take physics, you have to take American Voices, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's you pick what you want. And I'm really excited because I got to pick 2 sciences, which I did once before in sophomore year, but I obviously COVID hit.
Right.
So, and that was obviously also an AP level course, but this year I'm taking both AP environmental and I'm going to be doing the forensics class. So I'm really excited to have that experience because obviously I elected to take the AP biology, but it's like I get to build my whole schedule. It's not just,
right.
Oh, here's everything you have to take. You can pick like 1 or 2 things you want to do as well.
Right, yeah.
You get to pick everything. The only time that a guidance counselor is going to come to you and say you need to change your schedule is if you have multiple classes that would line up on the same day if they're your first priority. I actually had to deal with that because my first choice for my history class was Intro to Law, and I wound up switching to my second choice of sociology because my schedule conflicted. I wouldn't have been able to take some of the classes that I wanted if I had gone with intro, so I just switched the class for history.
So what are you wanting to go into?
I'm wanting to do wildlife rehab.
Oh.
So that's what I'm looking into doing in the future. Haven't decided on a college yet, currently working on that, but I figured that taking the AP environmental would definitely help with that in the future. I was kind of trying to go with intro to law also for that purpose, but obviously that didn't work out. I'm not going to throw a big fit over it.
Right. So do you have, as a senior and as a junior, you should probably start looking for colleges. Do you have any idea of like a college you are interested in, or you do not know yet?
I have a list of a couple that I'm really interested in. There's one out in Colorado. There's one in Washington.
State or the district?
State of Washington, not DC. Yeah, big state Washington. Yeah, I have a couple of schools, kind of all scattered around the country.
Right.
The only one that I have, the only state I officially crossed off my list after having original interest is Alaska. And after being told today that the school I would have gone to is 5 hours from the nearest city, I elected that, no Alaska.
Yeah. Yeah, Alaska's kind of tough too.
Yeah, Alaska's just kind of, there is miles of nothing in its day for more than 12 hours at certain points.
Yeah, it's a tough state. It's a tough state.
Yeah.
I admire anyone who's able to live there. Comfortably. Like, anyone's actually able to enjoy living there. I'm like, just, because like, I need things. I need to have stuff.
Yeah.
I need my Wi-Fi.
You need your Wi-Fi. That is a must.
It is. Yeah. So, I have like my own ambitions of things. Do you have, like, my probably dream is to work at SpaceX. Never going to happen, but it's like my dream.
Hey,
more
don't
realistically.
shoot yourself down.
Huh?
Don't shoot yourself down. You might.
I might. But more realistically, probably teaching chemistry is something I'd enjoy. So you want to go into wildlife rehab. Do you want to work at a nonprofit, or do you want to work at like an actual company that assists with that? Like, do you have like an idea of like job you'd want to do?
I would probably more likely want to work at like sanctuaries for animals, because that's a lot of what the wildlife rehabbers do is, they help to nurse the animals back to health. And it's not just like It's less than being a wildlife vet. I thought about doing that for a while, but I was like, I would not be able to handle the stress of, doing surgeries on animals.
Right, yeah.
So wildlife rehab's kind of a step down from that, wherein your first aid for animals, but you also know how to actually when to say, okay, we need to bring you to the vet and have the vet handle this.
Right.
So it's much like you aren't from what I've researched from it so far, you would learn how to, put a temporary cast on an animal's broken limb. You would know how to do basic stuff with needles, but it's not like, okay, now you need to make this very careful incision and do this and do that. It's more you're helping them to be able to go back into the wild. You're not the one doing the operation on them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I couldn't deal with anything regarding healthcare. It's just I can't be around needles. It just the COVID shot was enough for me.
The COVID shot was enough.
Yeah.
I personally have a fear of needles in being used on myself. I'm not the biggest fan.
I think that's a general thing to be afraid of.
My parents would tell you that me and needles up until I was 14 did not have a good history.
Yeah.
I've gotten better since then.
Right. Well, I mean, needles is a pretty okay thing to be scared of. I would not want to be stabbed with needles a lot.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Especially after my procedure back in sophomore year. I'm done with lots of needles. I'm fine with vaccines, but nothing else, please, for a while.
Yeah. I mean, even the COVID vaccine was just I'm not scared of getting it. It's just now I had it. I'm was the being in bed for dying basically worth it? It was, but it was not fun.
Oh, so you actually got knocked out by the vaccine.
That thing killed me. Everything hurt. I had a headache. I couldn't walk right. It was just not good. But fully vaccinated now, I don't have to wear a mask places, except doctors' offices, but that makes sense. So it's nice not to have to carry a cloth and shirt and jacket anymore.
Yeah. You do have to wear a mask at Panera though, so if you go to Panera, wear your mask.
What? Really?
Yeah, Panera. Yeah, you're still supposed to wear your masks at Panera, even if you're fully vaxxed.
Why? That seems...
It's just a safety thing that they have. Even workers, that's obviously understandable, but even patrons, there's a sign on the door saying to wear your mask until you're sitting and eating. So just follow the rules. Every establishment is still having their own rules about mask policy. So,
right, yeah. I still bring it with me, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it is unfortunately 11:21. So we're going to have to transition to our game today.
All right.
But first of all, thank you so much for the interview. It was very nice. I remember the first time I had you on, and there was horrible connection.
Yeah, it just kept glitching out. It was so bad.
We had to call back 5 times, and it was just out of a 20-minute interview, there's probably 6 or 7 minutes of actual footage. I'm
yeah, I think so.
I felt so bad editing that. I'm she didn't actually get an interview. But we now have 2 now in the book, so.
Yeah, I had 2.
So we're gonna go to Is It True? One of my favorite games. Basically, the rules are I'll say a statement, and you'll say if it's true or not. If you guess not true, then you can guess what would make the statement true. That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And the rules of that is if you get that right, where you can guess what makes it true, you double your points. But if you get that wrong, you lose all your points.
Mm-hmm.
So it's high stakes. I'm going to keep track of my notes cards. Okay, so someone who's watching already knows the answer to this. There is a wine where the logo is the atomic symbol for manganese.
True.
False, but it's cesium. I found it really funny. It's just it looks like a periodic table element. I'm that's really funny. I looked over. I'm like, "Are you drinking cesium?"
You were watching someone drink this wine.
Yeah, it was at dinner. But like it was funny. All right, so -1 point.
Mm-mm.
All right, so you live in Norwell, so hopefully you'll get this. The movie Finest Hours, about the Fort Mercer and the Pendleton tanker ships breaking in half off the coast of Cape Cod. So the movie Finest Hours was partially filmed here in Norwell.
That's true.
Yes. Do you know where?
Tinker's Son.
Yes. And
I only know about the Tinker's Son filming location.
the Cushing Center, the big brick thing,
Ah.
also in the center of town. Yeah, that's where they got engaged in the parking lot.
Mm.
But you get, I'll give you 2 points for that because you got the Tinker Son. My favorite restaurant. Really good chicken wings. Anyways, that's how I judge restaurants on their chicken.
You judge them based on the chicken wings.
Yep.
Bad chicken wings, 0 out of 10.
Exactly. You get it. You get it. Thank you. All right. There are 9 planets.
Sadly, this is false because Pluto's not a planet anymore.
What is it?
It's a dwarf planet.
Yeah, I'm giving you 2 points for that too. You made me happy. Space stuff. All right. Now, some may say this is opinion, but this is actual fact. Bow ties look stupid. True or false?
Wait. True?
Yes, they look so stupid. Anyone who wears a bow tie.
I was not expecting that question.
No, I know, but I mean, it's facts. It's just fact. No. All right, our last one. Perfect timing, actually. Filming this episode and releasing it on July 4th is symbolic of the season 3 premiere. I doubt you'll get this, but
I feel like it's true.
it's close to true.
Darn.
So it's season 4, actually. Season 4 I was wearing an American flag pin. It was released on July 5th, actually, but it was filmed on July 4th. So I decided to start it here. But thank you, Bianca, for appearing on the first episode of Daybreak as the first guest. It was a true pleasure to have you on. As I think I texted in the episode 1 group chat. I could not have picked 2 better people to start off the season, and I'm glad that you're here. So thank you very much, Bianca.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and thank you for the opportunity for me to be back here again.
Of course, anytime. All right.
Alrighty.
All right. You can turn off your microphone and camera.
All right.
All right, so that was my interview with Bianca Anderson. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now for our second guest today, who is supposed to be our first guest, but we had a little bit of technical issues, but we're back. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of my good friends, Caroline Scalzulli, back to Daybreak.
Hello.
Caroline!
We're in my car, sorry.
We are in your car.
We couldn't find a place with Wi-Fi, but we found a place with Wi-Fi, so we're all good.
Well, I'm glad you figured it out.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just like, because it was working for so long, and then like right when I was supposed to connect, it just died. So I was like, cool. But we're here, and we're doing great.
Nice.
So camera angle. We're good.
It's very fashionable.
Yeah.
So how have you been since the last time I saw you, which was like a week and a half ago, and from the last time you were on the show?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. It was so long ago, but
It was.
yeah, I've been good. My summer's been going really well, actually. I've been spending a lot of time with my friends. Been spending a lot of time at work. I work at Stop and Shop in Norwell. So I've been getting some money there, and I've just been having a good time. It's been sleeping in, honestly.
Well, every time I go to Stop and Shop, from that one time, like I wonder if I'll run into Caroline again, just like checking things. So are you enjoying? So I'm going to have to get a job this summer. Unfortunately, this cannot be my job. But what do you like about what do you like about it?
I like how it's really chill. Like the management and like corporate isn't like super just like you have to do this, this, and this. Like I can wear like leggings or just comfortable pants or like anything really to work, as long as it's like somewhat like not approachable, but like somewhat just like toned down.
Right.
Then it's fine, as long as you wear like the shirt and the apron. They don't really care what pants or shoes or anything you wear. And like they're not really strict about like a script or anything. You can sort of just like make conversation. It's really chill. I've said chill like 6 times. And then you can just like really start conversations with people based on like your interests, and you don't have to like follow sort of guidelines to talk to people, which
That's good.
at my last job you kind of did. So
You worked at Chick-fil-A?
yep.
Yes.
It was a time.
So I know talking about money is a little taboo, but do you get paid
No,
in
you're good.
wage at Stop and Shop or above minimum wage or?
No, they pay minimum wage, but then if you work, it depends what department you work in. So I work at front, so like the registers, and then in the back, which is like delivery and pickup. So depending on what you're doing, so if I'm on delivery and pickup and I'm bringing out groceries to people's cars,
right,
you occasionally get tips. Like yesterday, I got a tip for bringing out someone's groceries.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it sort of depends where I am, and it sort of depends on the day. But sometimes you get a little more. And then on Sundays, you get a little more than minimum wage.
Right, yeah.
So it's good. Yeah.
Well, it's good to have like a source of income.
Yeah, definitely.
So you, like Bianca, are now, you actually have been balancing school and work. So
Barely, just barely.
I was just gonna ask, how is that going?
Well, during the school year, it was obviously a little interesting because I've definitely just like been so stressed out. I'm sure you've seen me at school, just like, I don't know if you've been able to notice, but those last couple of weeks especially, I was like really nervous and really scared that I wouldn't get everything done, because I felt like the last couple weeks of school were like way busier than they usually are for the last couple of weeks.
They just tried to shove everything.
I thought I was like crumbling under the pressure and like burning out a little bit, but I don't know how it looked from the outside, obviously. But like, I remember I went into Job's office and just absolutely poured my heart out to him, because I was just like, I'm so stressed and I have no clue what to do. And he was just there, and it felt really nice. But so it's good to have those people that are there. But once you do that, it really sort of just like clears your head and just like, okay, I've got this. And then you can balance the school and the work. And you can always go to your job and say, hey, I'm really busy with school. Is it okay if I like work this day instead of this day? Or like just reduce my hours just for a couple weeks.
Right.
And if for the most part, as long as you've been like showing up to your shifts and you haven't been like calling out a ton, they'll just be like, yeah, of course, take your time, take as much time as you need. And it's obviously not like that for every job, but the management at the Stop and Hub was really understanding. So they're just like, yeah, absolutely, take your time. And they knew that I would be available over the summer, so they knew like it was temporary and it wasn't going to be like this forever. So I figured it's going to be temporary, and I'm going to be able to get it done eventually. It's going to be over with eventually, and I'll get through it.
It sounds like a very reasonable place to work. It sounds like,
yeah,
it's not like so high strung that it's gonna like kill you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I say so a lot.
That's okay.
I'm working up. Is this my first episode back? I'm gonna get into this thing again. I've got 9 more of these to go. We're gonna go back to school in September, and all the COVID protocols are gonna be like gone, like no masks.
Yeah.
Are you like? Now I know school for a lot of people is just like, ugh, school. I actually quite like it in Norwell, but like I'll take all the classes if I just don't have to wear a mask in a building again. Are you like how excited are you to not have to wear a mask, to be close to people again, to hear your teachers and students?
Honestly, the masks weren't like awful. I wasn't I wasn't opposed to them. I was sort of just like, whatever, it's not that hard. Like, obviously it was hot and it was like, I don't know. Obviously it wasn't preferable, but like, sort of just went with it. I was like, okay, whatever, as long as we're all safe and healthy. They're just doing their jobs. They can't really do anything else. And so I was like, sure, whatever. But honestly, it's going to be nice. Then you can finally catch a breath and just be like, okay, we're all good. And you can see the teacher's mouth move. You can actually put like faces to names.
Right.
Because a lot of the time it's just been like eyes to names and it's been a little weird. But yeah, it's fun though. It's going to be fun though, because you can like actually have conversations with people and like see people smile and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I remember Mr. Willis was always like a bit irritated because he can never see our expressions when he's saying things.
Well, yeah, I feel like our class also just didn't talk, so that's not gonna help either.
I like Mr. Willis. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, Mr. Willis was our AP European history teacher. But I liked him a lot.
Oh yeah, same. I love how we just cried over Downton Abbey together. I cried in that class so many times.
Really?
Downton Abbey made me cry.
Oh my god.
Multiple times.
I didn't
I don't
like
know if
Downton.
you saw me, but I was crying.
I didn't love Downton Abbey. I got used to it, but it's not my type of show.
It was so good.
Yeah, I like this show called Blacklist, featuring James Spader, who I absolutely love. And he basically is he's still a criminal, but he's helping the FBI do things. Like I'm more of that kind of TV person. I'm not really like a British history.
You're not a British soap opera kind of guy?
No, that's not it. No.
No. Oh. Well, I just really thought that Branson, the chauffeur, looked like Niall Horan, and I really liked him. He was cute. And then Mary, everyone hated Mary, but I thought Mary was such a boss. She was like, I don't want to marry this dude just for his money. Like, why can't I inherit Downton Abbey? I'm a queen. Excuse me. But
I have like a.
She was just in charge, and she was just ready to go.
I was like on and off with Mary. I liked her independence, but she was sometimes a bit mean to, what the hell's his name? I don't know what his name is.
Matthew?
That his name?
Husband?
Yes, that.
Husband?
Him.
Yeah.
It.
No, he deserved it. He absolutely deserved it.
Did he? I wasn't paying attention. But it was definitely.
She's only mean when people deserve it, and that's what people misunderstand. That she's only mean to people when they're just like being dumb or like they make awful decisions.
Right. I didn't like the dad.
Yeah, the dad is not. I love the dad, like the dog that just follows him everywhere. It's a nice little touch.
Right. I mean, it has moments, in my opinion. It has moments. Yeah. But in our little time we have left, I have 4 minutes and 24 seconds. What are you most looking forward to over the summer?
I'm most looking forward to working and then getting money to live my life. I'm looking forward to spending more time with friends and family that I feel like I haven't seen in so long. I'm looking forward to just really recharging, like going to the gym more, spending time for myself and not devoting time to like everyone else. And then I'm really excited to work on some new material. I've been writing songs recently, like a lot. And I just really want to like put them together. I feel like I just have bits and pieces just floating around, and I feel like I need to like arrange them somehow.
Yeah.
But once I can arrange something, it will feel really good.
I'm definitely excited to hear this.
yeah, I've been writing like bits and pieces of like lyrics and then of melodies and harmonies for so long, but I haven't been able to like piece them together quite right. So if I spend time or some more time with that, then maybe I can produce something. But I'm not sure when that's gonna happen or if it's gonna happen. But if it is, I'd love it to see it happen.
Well, I wish you well with that. It sounds incredibly interesting, and if you'd ever like help, I'm always here. And I've got like I've got pianos and guitars. If you ever need a live sound, I've got that too. So feel free to ask for help if you need it. But it was absolutely amazing to have you on. It felt a little short, unfortunately, but it has been absolutely amazing.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have you back. Super fun. I like the car view. We should do this every time. Have an interview in the car.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
what if we did Heartful karaoke?
Oh my God, that's it. We're done. We're doing it.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
I'm writing it down right now.
November 28th.
Yep.
It's happening. We're doing it.
I don't know about November 28th.
Thanks for having me. I had a blast.
It was absolutely amazing. But anytime you'd like to come back, just let me know. But I do have to close out the show, the first episode.
Oh yeah.
It was nice to have you though, Caroline.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. That was the first episode of Daybreak. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I've been doing a behind the scenes over here. There's a camera going on right there. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching. I'll take my last 1 minute and 20 seconds to just say to the people who helped out over the beginning of the year, which includes Faith Gagnon, who helped test a bunch of things, actually just helped like at the beginning, like not even like 15 minutes before this episode started, helped me just test to make sure everything was just right at the beginning. She's actually watching right now. But big thank you to Faith Gagnon. Big thank you to Grace Maroney, who helped do a ton of testing, as well as Riley Kravinger. Stay tuned for Riley Kravinger's episode, which she will be doing. We'll have more information on that. But yeah, my last 43 seconds. Just like to say to everyone, thank you so much for watching Daybreak. It's been an absolute pleasure to come back. I'm so excited for the next 9 episodes. We'll have Daybreak in Bossy Studios for episodes there. So stay tuned for those. But for the first time, I will see you all, and I'll be very excited to see you all next time at Daybreak. Goodbye, everyone.